and gentlemen, boys and girls, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes. Are we recaffeinated?
Yeah.
What the hell happened to the candy? I'm not going to give away what the next group's going to do. I am going to, however, reveal it involves glitter. So, with that, project reading! Here we go.
Good afternoon. I would like to introduce to you the Project Read team. Tyler Works is our T&A librarian. That would stand for teen and adults. At the North Lake Public Library, smiling down there, that's right. Christina Giovannelli-Caputo is our K-8 librarian at District 84. Susan Peterson, Denise Monegato, and I are librarians at Leiden High School's District 212, which is located in Franklin Park and in North Lake, Illinois. The proximity, just to kind of put you on our map, we're about 3 miles. We work about 3 miles away from O'Hare Airport. So that's kind of where you can place us. Well, how in the world did the 5 of us find each other? Well, most likely the 3, pretty obvious. But the other 2, well, we quickly realized that we have a lot of commonality in what we do, and we really need to partner up. The quicker the better. So that's when our I Lead You concept, Project Read, was born. So for many, we are definitely one. Thank you, Tyler. With 3 separate missions. At the 9-12 Leiden High Schools, we promote and support student learning for grades 9 to 12. Over at District 84, they do the exact same thing for grades K-8. And then at the North Lake Public Library, he provides resources and services to meet the information needs of the community. And that's the very community that we serve as well. So therefore, we saw these 3 separate entities with 3 separate missions and decided to sit down and realize that we can create partnerships and promote multiple literacies if we join together and work together. Therefore, our mission was to create partnerships between the schools and the public libraries to support these multiple literacies. And I know some of you are out there thinking, oh my God, multiple literacies, how many are we talking? Believe me, we were talking big at the beginning. And we had to narrow it down. So the 2 literacies that we're talking about, there's our little rod. The 2 literacies we're talking about are print literacy. And when I talk about print literacy, you're like, okay, what are you talking about there? That's millions of books. Indeed it is. Millions of books. So we decided to hone in, and we focused upon the Illinois School Library Media Association Award books. That would be the Blue Stems, the Monarchs, the Caudles, and the A's. Nice crack there. We also decided to look at digital literacy, Tyler, right? So when we look at digital literacy, we decided that it would probably be best to find ways to support student groups. That's existing conversations you taught us about. Take those existing conversations and those student groups already in place and try to support our student groups and infuse technology-based library programming. There you have it. So, what we decided upon, after lengthy conversations and a few in-house, with lots of snacks, we decided we'd hone in on these specific programming activities. The grouply Skype, skits and stories, geocaching, manga anime creation. And we're going to break those down now for you and tell you the ins and outs and the process.
All right, so, yes, okay, print, I know, we're librarians, I'm sorry, we can't help it. But then we decided, well, we need to figure out a way to make print resources cool and hip and lovely while supporting digital literacy with our students. And so taking that framework of the American Library Illinois Library Association School Library Media Book Awards, what can we do to infuse kind of technology in that? And we knew we wanted a virtual space for our students to interact with one another, to chat about to chat about the things that they're reading, like Facebook, but for District 212, not Facebook because it's blocked at our school. So, okay, can't use that. So what else? And then we thought, well, we actually need something a little bit better than Facebook. We need someplace where kids could blog. Kids could form their own discussion groups. They could have forums. They could throw videos in there. We need something like that. And that's where we came up with Grouply. So Grouply is an interactive social network group that's very creative. It allows for a lot of customization for that. And we used this Grouply to promote the ABE Award and reading over the summer. So one of the things that our district has been doing is supporting the ABE. And 2 years ago, we limited success. We had 5 kids who actually were able to vote. So we've been really thinking about, well, how can we get to do this? So we came up with this plan that we were going to let kids check out books over the summer, which, okay, and I know this is going to sound like, really? You don't let kids check out books over the summer? Well, no, not in the school library. We've never done it before. But we bought 440 copies of ABEs, brand spanking new. Nobody checked them out before. And then we devised a plan because, okay, we got reading clubs at school. We hit them up, but then we wanted to be like much broader than that. We wanted to get those kids that don't normally come to the library and check out these books or don't necessarily consider themselves those readers. So what we did was we said, okay, so you get to check books out over the summer. We're going to do something really, really cool. And so bring a friend. Bring a friend. We had like a little kickoff party, right? So we had a few people out, and then we just started grabbing. We were tenacious. My partner at my high school, oh my gosh, partner librarian, she went like in the hallway grabbing kids. Hey, come on in. Here, we have pizza, bags, books. And so by the time we were done, all 440 books checked out. We had kids sign up for the Grouply before they even left the library, and they were happy. They're like, yeah, sure, I'll totally do this. We're like, yeah, awesome. So we're promoting the ABE Award over the summer, and the other issue here too is Live District is 2 high schools, 1 district. And so we really wanted to use this Grouply to connect these kids. We're connecting kids who don't go to school together, who might not interact at all over the summer. We also had librarians that were willing to volunteer their time to talk to these kids over the summer, as well as English teachers who were more than willing to chat. So you got a whole group of people here that don't normally necessarily talk to one another over the summer, all together in one virtual space. Next. Thank you. And the goal here is to promote transliteracy, because like when I mentioned that we wanted something like Facebook but better, you know, the goal here is that we wanted kids to blog thoughtfully about what they're reading, because that's a skill they need to have in school and going forward in life. We also wanted them to participate in a fairly juried conversation, but have those discussions and have that experience about how to comment on other people's posts and what to do. And oh my gosh, I fielded all kinds of questions over the summer. How do I do this? Oh, sit down, let me show you. So, you know, promoting that transliterary, that digital literacy all over summer. And ready for this, these kids did this for no grade. Not a thing. We didn't give them anything. Just like, here, just do this. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, we're going to show you what it looks like.
It was a huge deal.
It was a huge deal. So this is what our Grouply looks like, and it's actually still active today. You're going to see that in a minute. So it is highly customizable. The very first thing is you can see who's posting and when, and then across the top, notice we've got events. They can blog about books, and all those things we can customize and tell them where to go or what we wanted them to do. And some of the things we changed while we were doing it because we're just like, oh, that didn't work at all. So it's very fluid. Next, please. And I do want to show this because, seriously, if you told me this was going to work as well as it did, I would have told you, no way. Notice here we have, by May, because we ended school at the very end of May, we had 126 students on. And it just kept growing, 132, 136, 151 active members. And notice that we continued adding. So as we're continuing to promote the ABEs, we are inviting them into the party. Come on in, join the party. Next, please. This is a sample of a discussion thread here. teacher actually posted this question, and the comment thread that comes after that, and building upon those conversations. And then next. This is a student who basically wrote back-to-back blogs about her reading experiences. So the blog feature. And then next. And the idea of having a forum, the idea of what was your favorite title last year and why, and the fact that you can actually argue about, well, you really like that? Really? That's what you have to say? So we had this wonderful virtual experience all summer. So then we were inspired by Beck, as many of you were mentioned, with her from her tweet ups. From the virtual, we decided we need to get these kids to meet in reality. So.
And the reality was that we scooped ice cream with over 50 of our students on one of the hottest days in August. We never expected that, but it was really awesome. We made some connections, some sticky and sweaty connections, and then we went upstairs to an air-conditioned library classroom, and we chatted it up with ABE award-winning author Todd Strasser. So how did Scoop and Skype originate? Well, it came from a desire to have a culminating activity to the virtual reading experience. We wanted to create something that would tie it in with the books that the students had been blogging about all summer. And we also wanted to hopefully introduce the students to a new technology. We had never Skyped with an author before at school, so we were pretty sure that the students hadn't either. So, thus Scoop and Skype. And then it came down to selecting an author. We knew it had to be one of the ABE authors. We knew it had to be someone that would fit within our budget. And most importantly, we wanted an author that would be engaging and entertaining for our students. Because let's face it, we had a library full of kids who were going to be pumped up on sugar, and it better be good. And so we contacted several authors. After some discussion and inquiry, we did finally select Todd Strasser. He was very enthusiastic about Skyping with us. And I think truthfully and honestly, he really wanted to get some experience Skyping himself. So he offered us a 30-minute Skype for free. So it was such a deal, we couldn't say no. And we knew that we had garnered a lot of student support for his book. His book, Wish You Were Dead, we had been watching the commentary on the Grouply. It was very popular. It was circulating very well at both schools. So well, in fact, that students were coming in and asking us for the other title in the series. And also, last year, his book, Boot Camp, was also an ABE award-winning book. So we knew that we had enough student base for him. So then it was just a matter of talking with him and seeing if he was going to work out, if he's going to be entertaining. So if you don't know Todd Strasser, he's a wonderful person, very warm, personable demeanor. He put the students at ease. Initially, the students were a little apprehensive about stepping up to the screen and asking him questions. It was a whole new experience for them. And he was very, very willing to share his experiences as an author. And as the Skype session went on, by the end of the session, the students were bantering with Todd about his tennis lessons, life in New York, his kids. It was all good. By the time we said goodbye, the students were really fueled for having another Skype session, and they wanted more. And in fact, Todd Strasser and I are now Twitter pals.
And you forgot to mention that as one student was walking out, the last one of the library that night, so who are we Skyping with next? So I consider that a success.
Yes, we are definitely planning more author Skypes. And we were fortunate enough to have a photographer and a reporter present from our local paper, so we got a very positive write-up. It was a great experience for our students, and yes, we are planning more author Skypes. And now Christina's going to tell you about
From Scoop to Snacks. To coincide with the high school, or our high school township district, I'm from District 84, and we had Snacks and Skype, which is the little kid version of Scoop and Skype. So, District 84 is the feeder partner schools that feed into Layton Township High School. And we wanted to have the elementary, junior high students to have the same experience that the high school students had. As it is a K-12 initiative, for us to utilize the ISLA nominees to promote literacy in our community. Snack and Skypes was over at Petrini. That was our first event. It was over at Petrini Elementary School. It's my K-5 school. And we Skyped with Sharice Harper We had over 60 elementary students, and these are some pictures of them. As you can see, they had no problem raising their hand. There was no fear. We had never done Skype before, but that did not stop my 3rd graders, 4th graders, and 5th graders from raising their hand, being so excited to talk to Sharice Harper. If you don't know Sharice Harper, she wrote Just Grace, fantastically funny story. And Sharice Harper is a fantastically funny author. And she illustrated the book herself, so the kids really enjoyed asking her questions, not only about her writing, but also about her illustrations. And the next author that we Skyped with was Roseanne Perry. And we had over 50 6th graders that she had with CAUDL nominees, so that's 6 through 8, Roseanne Perry, and she was a fantastic person to Skype with. She's a former elementary school teacher, so she knew just how to talk to the kids. She was very, very personable, and the kids were so, if you ever work with 6th graders, you know, they're so excited and so darling, and they were so excited to Skype with her. And in fact, she even emailed me and said, thank you so much for this experience to meet your students. And she sent me her book, her next book with the audio book for the library, which was very, very sweet. At the junior high school, because my students are under 14 years old predominantly, we cannot do the social networking sites. They have to be over 14 to join. We have Gaggle, which is a site that we did what was similar to Grouply, where the students could go on and talk about the award nominees. And it's an intranet, so we purchased that from our school district, and the kids can talk only amongst the children in our school district. So it's wonderful that we have that tool for them. Skype was a success. My students are so excited. Like I said, we had never Skyped before. They cannot wait till they meet someone, the next author. I contacted 60 of the award nominees, so that was all the Monarchs, all the Blue Stems, all the CAUDLs, and I had 11 respond to me, including Sherry Smith, saying that I had 11 respond saying that they would do it for free. So I think that just shows what the success it is, and I'm so excited to be able to bring that to Lyon Township. In Franklin Park, Illinois. The next one we had was at the Public Library, North Lake Public Library, for the Monarch Awards, and that is called Skits and Stories. And it's to promote the Monarch Awards, which are the K-3 awards, kindergarten through 3rd grade. This is our flyer that we had. We had it on a Saturday, on a beautiful Saturday day, September 17th. This is another event where we wanted to connect kids with authors, but it's a different event because we wanted to connect the kids from the community with the authors. And we Skyped with 2 authors that I had gotten to Skype with us. Our first one is Rory Butler. She wrote The Lost Boy, and you can see some pictures of the kids Skyping. And the second author that we Skyped with is Candace Fleming, and she wrote Imogene's Last Stand, and they're K-3 books, both fantastic books.
But in order to tap into those existing conversations and connect once again those high school kids back to the K-8 level and the public library, we went ahead and talked to Key Club, Drama Club, Theater Guild, Thespians, Drama 1, FACT stands for Family and Consumer Science, in addition to the 2 student activity directors at each high school. And we said, hey, we're doing this event at the local public library on a Saturday. What part of it do you want to join? What part of the conversation do you want to join? And our drama kids said, oh yeah, definitely. We're interested in the Theater Guild and the Thespians. What do you got for us? Well, actually, the Drama Club, or actually it was the Thespians, specifically decided to go with minimal costumes and act out Otis by Lauren Long. Oh, and also I forgot about the Family Consumer Science. You're like, well, why did you mention that? They made 100 cookies shaped like books. No lie. And it says read on them. And they donated them to us.
Packaged individually.
Packaged individually. You got to know these people. We're not worthy of their greatness.
Yeah.
They were really good, really amazing, and they'll cater more library events. And she even has an Abe hat for us. Okay.
What we wanted to do was look for a program, for Skits and Stories, that would allow young patrons to create digital stories. So what we selected was Storymaker. After looking at a couple of different programs, Storymaker proved to be one of the best ones. It's a free web-based program that's accessible from the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. It has a very, very easy to use drag and drop interface. And what we did was we had several team volunteers that were willing to help mentor our students create these digital stories, and they were willing to learn the program ahead of time to do it. We also had, in addition to upperclassmen doing presentations, we had a Drama 1 class. They were doing the adaptation of Imogene's Last Stand by Candace Fleming, but they were a little nervous about performing in front of a live audience. So what they decided to do is they created a visual presentation that was meaningful to them and turned it into a class project. So the positives of that experience for them was that it required eventually the talents and efforts of the whole entire class. So it became, they were assessed for a grade on this, and also by recording their performance, they gave the students an opportunity to explore the world of video production and editing.
This is a great one.
She finger-painted an accurate map of the Oregon Trail. Now Imogene's attention was on the Littleville Historical Society.
For centuries, old house, stuffed with dusty antiques, stuck cobwebs, gold letters, and yellow photographs.
One Monday morning.
And now Tyler is going to talk to us about geocaching.
I guess for those who don't know and you don't remember our process, geocaching is like a high-tech scavenger hunt. You hide something in a specific location, you get the GPS coordinates, and then someone takes those coordinates and goes and like hunts for it. So as we mentioned, when we were planning this out, we were looking for like student clubs to partner with, and we had like a master list of all the clubs that were at both East and West Leiden. And one that stuck out was the Outdoor Adventure Club that we thought would be fun something to do with. We had heard of libraries doing a geocaching program before, and we thought we'd give it a go. And then we also eventually partnered up or contacted other student groups to see if get them interested. The Principi is like a science club at like the high school. And we also partnered with Veterans Park District, which is the park district for kind of in our school district area. And we used the parks, we basically hid the different geocaches in the different parks and walked around scenic North Lake. So part of the reason why we were excited, or we wanted to do something like this, is because it exposed kids to a different type of technology, especially kids who live more in an urban environment. They may not use something like a handheld GPS device. So we thought it'd be fun to do that. And we also like the idea of it promoting something that's more physical. Technology also gets banged on a lot for being very sedentary, experience. So getting out there, like in the community, walking around, something that's outside the library, we thought it'd be a fun program. So this poster we used today. These kids are starting out during the day, getting oriented how to use the GPS devices, and walk around. It's like scenic North Lake. So how we worked it was basically we had clues, and then like you would get like a coordinates, and you go to a coordinate, and and they're not super accurate, so it's like 15, 20 feet within a certain area, and then so we had a clue that would tell them where the clue was headed, and that clue would lead to another clue, and eventually take them around. So we were also fortunate enough to have a reporter and a photographer follow us around during the program. So we got some really cool photos, and we got a really nice positive write-up about the whole experience. All in all, it was a really good, enjoyable program.
Okay, going back to the idea that you want to join current conversations, because we were really inspired by that. One commonality between all of our libraries was that we all had really ravenous, active, passionate anime and manga kids in clubs that were already there. So we really wanted to support those student groups. So we actually went to them and said, well, what do you guys want? What do you really want to do? Like, if you could do anything, and it has to be technology, because once again, trying to do the grant thing, what would you really want to do? And their response resoundingly was, we would love to create something cool. Okay, well, we can do that. So to encourage their desire for content creation, we went out and we purchased tablets, graphic tablets, and Manga Debut Studio 4 and Anime Studio 8. With the whole goal is that kids could start creating in any one of our school libraries. And then, oh, guess what? Over at the public library, they're going to have an event in the evening. You can just continue. So having these little portable devices going on over there and hanging out in the library. How cool is that, right? So the idea, it's going to be mobile. It's going to tie us together. And then we got it. Awesome. And I put it on my computer and I opened it up and I think I went white. Oh my God. This is not easy. I don't even know where to click. I was a little hyperventilating. Luckily, I had Manga Club, and luckily we were also really wanting to promote agency. We wanted to give these tools to these kids so that they could pay it forward, that they could share their passion. And luckily, I found a student, and I said, listen, I have it, but I can't even find a YouTube video to show me how to use it. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. And Jimmy Wade, Miss Peterson, I got you. I so got this. I can figure this out for you. This kid, once again, when I put this out there, no grades are involved. No bribery, except I did think I gave him chocolate one time. But basically went through and decided, how would you teach this to somebody who doesn't know how to use it? He came up with the points that he wanted to say. He storyboarded it out, and then he used my computer and all this stuff to create.
Welcome to How to Use Manga Studio, and today we'll be covering 3 basic things that will help you get started using the software, such as uploading your files, saving your files, and using the tablets. If you take a look at your tablet right now, you will notice that there are some icons surrounding the tablet, such as open, new, only click something that you don't want without drawing on it, and as soon as I make contact with mine, it'll actually start to draw. Now you will notice that this is in black and white, and many people complain that they don't know how to do this.
So I have to tell you this, that when he did this first video, I uploaded it to my Grouply for my club, because I was inspired by the A's. I uploaded it and I was going to share it, and he came to me that afternoon and he said, you going to show my video today? Well, I was planning on it. Yeah, it was my response. Yeah, is that okay? Because I thought maybe he was going to say, you know, don't do it. I really don't want you to. I'm like, well, if you only want me to point out where it's located, I could do that. He's like, heck no! I worked so hard on that. Are you kidding? You have to show it. And I do believe, because this is on our YouTube channel, or the library YouTube channel, I do believe he stocks it just a little bit to see how many people are looking at it. So I think that's pretty sweet. Okay, so we had these wonderful, wonderful things, but you know, here's the question. So what did we learn in this whole process? This is what we learned.
What we learned. We learned that collaboration is indeed challenging. Holy cow, was it challenging. Working with really very busy teachers during the very first week of school is just tough. They've got 1,000 things on their plate. So nonetheless, our innovative programming was embraced by our students and our staff, but they were overwhelmed. We were jazzed. We were tenacious. They were overwhelmed, but we did the best we could to work with them. And I guess one thing I learned was that I wouldn't give up on them or let them forget about Project Read and all the work that we were working and all the things that we had done, our mission, our vision. And the one thing I learned, though, was that I had this like preconceived notion that they would be thrilled to be essentially, you know, we have this developed, thoughtful programming, and you know, here it is, I'm handing it to you. Don't you want it? Don't you come on? Not so much. I was wrong, because indeed, timing is everything.
Yes, it is. That can't be emphasized enough. In order to coordinate a lot of this, we were really sweating in certain times. Over the summer, our Grouply really flourished and thrived. And it also provided us with a lot of time to meet and flesh out our ideas. But in order to garner the support of the teachers and students whose commitment we really needed, it was kind of a bit of a dead zone. And also the fact that we're school librarians and public librarians, we tend to schedule things differently. Librarians in schools kind of have a bit of a captive audience. We tend to have our events during the school day or right after school. Public libraries tend to schedule their programs on weekends and evenings. So we're asking teachers and students who are already overtasked at the beginning of the school year, if any of you have been around a school, a high school, like ours at the opening of school, it's teachers running around 90 miles an hour with their hair on fire, and that doesn't even include homecoming. So that was a bit of a challenge for us. And now, having been through the cycle, I think that we are really kind of have a handle on how to create that balancing act, how to coordinate everything a little bit better. And though, despite the fact that Tyler said after today he is blocking all of our cell phone numbers, and if we dare step into the North Lake Public Library, security will be alerted immediately, we will continue to forge ahead and partner up with our programming, because we think that overall Project READ has been an enormously successful project.
And when he walks into the libraries, he does have a whole fan club. The kids will go, Tyler!
Banana. You're getting fired.
So, we won't be losing our numbers anytime soon. And Susan's going to talk to us a little bit about
Okay, another thing that I think we all agree that we learned, communication is key, and that goes with communicating with one another, remembering that maybe you didn't send that email, or oh wait, it got lost in the stream somewhere, I don't know. So when you say something important, it bears repeating. That communication with student groups. I think we did have a graphic at some point where working with literally it was 43 strings long. That, and just to continue with student groups, you have to meet them where they're at and kind of walk the hall with them, kind of like side by side. Hi, do you remember that email I sent you last week that you didn't respond to? Can I talk to you about it right now? Communicating and trying to meet them where they are at, and then be as transparent as possible. We had one of those "oh really" moments right toward the end, about 2 days before we had our geocaching event. We thought we had covered everything, right? Everybody. Janine put out a blast to the entire high school. Hey, we have this geocaching event on Saturday at North Lake Public. Come on in. And we get an email back from a PE teacher. Really?
No.
I just taught an entire unit on geocaching. In fact, I have all the handhelds. You wanna? So, when you don't think that you've done enough, or you think you've done enough, go that extra mile. And you, like 2 days before is 2 days.
And we learned to simplify. One of right in the beginning of our presentation, it said, just a little broad. And at the beginning, we were just a little bit broad. But what we did do is we had some amazing programming, and we learned to simplify. And our future programs will be we would streamline them and base them upon the Illinois Library School Media Association Awards and literacy. We will continue on our journey to a mission to bring the 21st century learning skills to our community.
And we also learned that implementing technology isn't always smooth. I don't know, I guess it's like, I'm used to my personal technology implementations. It seems so easy to install something on a computer and just like go with it. But dealing with, an IT department and like multiple computers, it's not as quick as you anticipate. Like for our anime and manga, we were hoping to have actually programs before today, but it just didn't happen. Just with delays, with IT getting everything else separate, we're just not operating in a vacuum. There's other people involved with it. But overall, it's been successful. Definitely some learning curve. We also learn a lot about technology. All these different technologies were used, at least for the first time, in a library setting. Most of them for the first time ever. So definitely taking a look at these forward and learn some new ones.
And there we are.
Woohoo!
We'd like to thank Kat, and we'd like to thank our community reps, our ILEAD instructors, the Illinois State Library, INLS. We'd also like to thank District 84 for supporting us, and Leiden High School's District 212 for supporting us, and the North Lake Public Library, because they allowed us to be a part of such an amazing experience. So thank you so much. And Questions?
Question.
Hit me.
I'd like to appeal to everyone. If you have something in the newspaper, if there's any kind of publicity about anything, if you could please drop us a line. That's the kind of thing that IMLS wants to know about. Just put it on the list. Do an email message to the list. And also, if we could get everyone's either presentations or PowerPoints, whatever, that would be great. And any kind of YouTube, anything, if you could give us a link or put it on the YouTube. ILEAD, yes, David.
What we're going to do, since we're running so delightfully efficiently early, when we're all done, we're sending you all back to C&D in front of your terminals to do just that from today.
Great, great. Because this will help us with the next grant application, especially any kind of newspaper or newsletter article. That's really, really important because I don't know if you remember Mary Chute from the very first session, but for them, it's all about how does what they do affect the end user. That's the $1 million question for them. Or in this case, the $419,000 question.
We did get really great support from our local news.
Yeah. Yes.
Those photographers and writers, they were terrific. They're very supportive of the high schools in general.
Great.
And more specifically, they really wrote some really lovely articles about what we tried to accomplish.
We had a report. I mean, he hung out with us for an hour. I would say an hour and a half. He followed our group around, asking questions, talking to the kids, asking us why we were doing it. I mean, I thought he was like, 10 minutes in, and he was done. He took a couple pictures. No, he long haul the whole. What was it?
It's like 2 hours.
2 hours.
Over 2 miles.
2 miles, hoofing it.
Anybody else have any questions? Yes.
I'd like to suggest you go to Islama and give the same presentation. They're in town this week.
Well, we did apply to Yalta and St. Louis, so we'll see if they pick us and we get up there and do this again.
Yeah,
I think it's
ASL.
too.
Yeah, ASL, okay, well, only if it's in Anaheim, my friend. These guys are a little pissy with me. Oh, is that on tape? I did St. Louis in January.
Oh, Anaheim in June.
Anybody else? No? Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Wait.
Gifts.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
I wish we had a T-shirt cannon.
From our jobber. What's our jobber's name again? The guy who makes the shirts? Oh, Raj the jobber.
Raj, this is for you. Thank you so much for your graciousness and being such a driving force. David Link is our library crush, except for Tyler.
I think I started that. That's on tape.
That's a tape.
That's yeah. Yeah, I started it, so.
Oh, thank you. I always have had a special place in my heart for school librarians. I hate to report that out in public. But if ever anyone needs apparently any idea, it was like a mini ILEAD you together. 50 projects in 1 year. That was, and all of them worked. Wow. All right, so we've got a few minutes, but I will invite our last group, Team Explorers, to come and get ready. So, and then we will get started here when they're ready, so don't go far.